What's up guys, it's Drac, and today we're reviewing this, the Cricket Pro by Dartzone. It's not a noisy cricket, which is just fine, because I'm not a men in black. I'm not a man in black. I am not a black... I'm not Will Smith. So the Cricket Pro comes to us under the Adventure Force brand, which is, of course, the Walmart kind of in-house special. It's coming at us live for $8, which you can tell in the packaging that, like, we've definitely cut costs pretty much everywhere we can. The question of this review video is to find out if the costs have been cut in the product or if we're just cardboard packaging now. We're connected with twine. We are a, hanger pack here. It's interesting that this part kind of pops out to give it a little more dimension because there isn't anything happening there. The darts comes with only 4 darts, which kind of stinks, but they are standard AF Pro, Adventure Force Pro, half-length darts. It even says here, half-length Adventure Force Pro darts. That is a mouthful. I like that we just call them Pro darts. We've got easy lock barrel, quick load action, ages 14 and up, shooting up to 110 feet, and it says try me, which is interesting because the packaging, due to this bump out, is not conducive to try me. You pull this out and it shows you very clearly that it has multiple ways of kind of articulating. There's a hinge up top here that we'll talk more about later so that you can disconnect like so and load through the aperture there, kind of rear loading from the rear. The interesting part about that is that this is a 2-stage assembly. So like that's the rear loading port. If you disconnect this like that, you're loading. If you just push it, you actually put it back into pocket mode so that it folds all the way down. So I don't know what your try me is on this packaging, just because you don't have a dart to load and fire, and you also can't prime because this, much like its predecessor, the Dartzone Solo, it's got this like kind of flip out primey bar. It's just now I'm priming down into the jut out in the packaging. Go figure. Anyway, like I said, Adventure Force brand, which means it is a Walmart exclusive, so we should expect this be, $8 at Walmart indefinitely, or at least until Christmas when they make it $5, because that's just a thing that Walmart does. On the back here, you can see we've got quick load release, quick flip release, which is one's for loading, one's for flipping. More on that later. Tactical rail, safe lock, safety lock, safety lock. Trigger priming handle, and then it says other side for safe lock, because obviously that's not visible in the direct product printing. So on this side you can see the product has, like some sort of industrial. I like that the spring has been printed on here when clearly the spring is inside, and then here there's something that says lock. Is it a barrel lock? Ooh, this is good. This is good industrial design. It's very subtle. It says load right there, cut into the plastic. It says load. So you got lock and load, which is, it's good. It's good. I like it. I wish that there was like a fire on the trigger though. That would be, like if there was a ready and then an aim on a, that's how I would. If you had a ready on like the priming bar and then aim hidden in the optics, I think that would be cool if you had fire later on. All right, so let's pop this open. Probably just untie this twine, but here we go. Darts come out very easily. Again, you only get 4 with this, but Pro darts are pretty cheap. So here we have this. What does lock do? Oh, so instead of manually pushing this through, because this is not a very secure joint here, it folds down quite easily. Instead of doing that, you can push this button to collapse it. The trigger is very flat to allow for it to fit down like this, as opposed to in the Solo where there was a cutout for that. And just as a point of order, we'll take a look at the two of them. Primary differences here. Solo has a metal barrel and presumably hits harder. Same control suite in the sense of they each have trigger under barrel, and they each have a safety switch here. Safety switch just locks the trigger on both of them, so that's the safety, kind of necessary for a 14 and up blaster. Similar but not patent violating technology to a Jolt here. Everything's a Jolt reskin after all. But like I said, plastic barrel and more of it versus the metal barrel here. And then this has one way of folding down and loading, and it's the same mechanism, whereas this is jointed. So you've got the folding storage mechanism, and then you have this, which disconnects a second lever here, which allows you to get at the barrel. Now obviously, like any kind of dart, you could just vacuum load in full lengths. If you have skinny enough fingers, you could load from the, ooh, You should not be loading from the front just because this barrel fit is not very tight, and that's the disadvantage of plastic versus metal. However, maybe it doesn't need a very tight barrel. Okay, so let's try loading from the rear. Is this tapered? It's so light up front, but it's so tight in the back. This thing might hit 110 feet. $8. It's like, I think I said in a video earlier, I'm like, it'll be interesting to see what the answer to the X-Shot blaster, the Fury that shoots. Not a bad answer for a little pocket shot. So can we rear load a full-length dart as well? Let's throw an Elite in there. It sure looks like it. Now, can we? Oh yeah, it's all coming together. This is pretty tight. This is pretty cute. The usual accoutrement, paint on both sides, a premium feature getting here at $8 from the competitors. Wish other companies would take note. Interestingly enough, as opposed to the Solo, which has like a little sturdy joint here connecting down there, and then the gasket fits in this way. We don't even get to see the gasket on this product necessarily. We see the rubber connecting here to here, but whatever's connecting us to the plunger tube, it appears that you just never lose that joint because the whole thing rotates through. So mine has a pretty good seal. It is a sample model provided for this review, so you know, you never know, but pretty solid seal. And then the interesting part is because of this, I don't know if this is going to be a feature or what, but you can get, this town ain't big enough for the Will Smith of us. Oh my gosh. So you could fire with your middle finger and put your pointer finger in here, and then you'd have terrible gun safety, but an excellent indicator. It feels violent being like, gesture angrily towards camera. You have an excellent targeting reticle. Human beings are bad at aiming, but good at pointing. So usually, if you do fire with your middle finger, you could point and click. Pretty good. Pretty solid. So let's get some FPS readings, and then we'll get you our final thoughts. So with FPS readings between 110 and 115, that was slick. The blaster itself hits just a little shy. We calibrated it using our Solo, same darts, same Drac, same chronograph. This guy was getting about 7 FPS higher on average. To be expected with the superior barrel material, however, the Plastico is fantastico. 115 FPS for $8 is nuts. I mean, I've made jokes in the past about like, you're paying $1 an FPS for like some of these primary class blasters. In the secondary category, we're at double digits. It's a little silly just how good this has gotten. But, you know, a classic pocket shot style blaster. It's thin, it's got no snags on either side, and you can fold away the priming bar easily. That means it'll fit in just about any pants pocket. It'll also fit in a Roosevelt shirt pocket for quick deployable action. You know, this is a slam dunk. I'm assuming we'll see it on the trade show floor over at Toy Fair. I don't think that we'll need to do a dedicated video on it while we're at the trade show, just because we should have this one up for you live on Friday. If you want to keep track of me as I'm taking a look at all the latest and greatest at Toy Fair, because that's what I'm going to be doing after this video launches on a day-to-day basis, I'll be posting lots of Instagram story updates, which double as Facebook story updates. If we're not friends on Facebook, if you haven't added me on Instagram, links to those in the description box down below. Would love to connect. And by doing so, you can DM me your questions about stuff that I see at Toy Fair, so it'll be like you're at the trade show too. After all, you guys are the reason that I get to go do that, which is pretty mint. That's my take on the Cricket. I think it's slick. And even if I didn't think it was, you know, like a 10 out of 10, it's an 8 out of $8. It's $8. It's a Pro Blaster for $8. I feel like the extremes that I've gone to when I'm like, it's a Pro Blaster for $25. And now I have to be like, it's a Pro Blaster for $15. Like, it's a Pro Blaster for $8. I can't go lower. I just can't. I don't think manufacturing constraints will let me get excited about a pro category blaster for less money. I'm just going to show up with a slingshot next time, and I'm going to be like, it's a Pro Blaster for roughly 80 cents. Is it accurate? Medium. Is it, you know, dynamic? Sort of. How hard does it shoot? Well, how strong are you? I don't know, guys. It's a Pro Blaster for $8. I won't, turn it into something hyperbolic. In a world where we had a very good, very reasonable Pro Blaster for about twice that amount of money, this is 15 bucks on Walmart.com, but it's also 15 bucks on FoamProShop.com, where you could buy one, which would be great. I would love it if you bought one on FoamProShop.com so that I could buy more silly shirts to wear in videos for you guys. That is the Cricket review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if there's one takeaway from this, if you haven't already seen the podcast, check out the podcast. But follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Let's connect during Toy Fair. Much love. Blast on. Drac out. Delete all of that. That was not good. Can I do that again? To catch it at the barrel. I have a lot of momentum. I'm so used to drawing, I can't do it again. Like that, and then you can like spin it into holstering it. So, with could catch it by the barrel. So about 115 to